So this is a concept that I developed in one of those long conversations with a good friend of mine. They recently had expressed that they had a series of disappointment and how much they felt disrespected in recent relationships and situationships. This made me remember an article that I had read many years back where they were celebrating the anniversary of a couple that had gotten into Guinness Book of World Records for having the longest running marriage. So, a question was asked to them, what was the secret behind maintaining such a long relationship over decades and decades? So the old man replied that it's mutual respect. He states that there's an old adage that says communication is key, but he stated that solid communication, while vital, it just falls under that umbrella of respect. If two people respect each other, they're not going to be abusing each other, they're not going to be cheating on each other, and they're otherwise not going to be playing games. And all violations of boundaries in a relationship, they eventually amount to showing a particular level of disrespect to your partner. So I eventually concluded that while all things may hang on respect, the other two components needed for a strong relationship that go hand in hand with respect are communication and trust. Any failure or breakdown with any of these will often cause a chain reaction, which is going to ignite a series of resentment and retaliation. One partner violates the trust, the other partner retaliates with shame and disrespect. The original partner internalizes the shame and shuts down and is no longer communicating. Then that other partner doesn't know how to read this and they take it as a lack of emotional availability and they retaliate with further disrespect, to which the original partner, feeling shamed and shut down, may further erode trust in fear of further disrespect. So now they're keeping secrets, and so on and so on and so on. So comment was made that relationships often feel like playing a game of Jenga. You never know exactly which brick is going to be the final one that's going to collapse the tower. So if I'm running with this analogy, the game of Jenga involves alternating stacks of bricks. You got 3 by 3 by 3. So opponents, they're taking turns removing said bricks and returning them to the top of the stack in such a way that they want to make sure that the tower is going to collapse only when their opponent removes a brick. Now, if we say at the start of the relationship is a fairly unblemished tower, with the repeated bricks of communication, trust, and respect stacked in alternating fashion, then we can say as time goes on, bricks are going to get removed. So whether this is out of malice, whether this is out of ignorance, all of us will end up doing things at some point that are going to hurt our partner. So as time goes on, we make more of an investment in the relationship, the tower grows taller, but bricks are still getting knocked out every so often. Over time, the tower gets taller, and without the needed repair, it is going to fall over. So when a brick is removed, we can choose to retaliate or we can stop and evaluate. The repair process isn't just about forgiving and moving on. Unless all of the feelings regarding the missing bricks are properly acknowledged and addressed, and the root cause as to why the brick got knocked out to begin with is addressed, then further bricks are going to continue to get knocked out, and the tower is eventually going to fall. And just as bricks can be used in a cycle of retaliation, they can also be used in a cycle of rebuilding and repair. So broken trust and lack of respect can be mended with honest and vulnerable communication. A lack of communication can often be mended by displaying more trust and more respect to help our partners feel more safe to be more vulnerable with us. If we're not taking adequate time to evaluate the health of the tower and applying the needed repairs and strengthening the foundations, then eventual collapse is imminent. Now, I found that it's too easy just to get into this state of just tackling the current crisis at hand and neglecting to work on our relationship tower. So regular check-ins are absolutely needed. Make sure that you're setting aside time to spend and study on how to strengthen your relationship dynamic and in communication about any issues needing repair and strengthening the intimacy of the relationship. Sitting down and planning things out in general as a couple is pivotal to growth and strength. So crisis management mode with no solid plan or just comfortable complacency, this is a death march in a relationship. So regular date nights, regular relationship check-ins, they need to be included in your schedule and your routine. So I recommend setting aside at least 2 hours each week dedicated to talking out any issues in the relationship and where improvement might be needed. Both parties need to be able to actively listen without getting defensive. And an actionable plan needs to come from this conversation. And then, of course, the usual, like I recommend at least one date night a week. And try alternating between doing something adventurous one week and then spending the next week towards enhancing your intimacy and closeness. So with all that said, did you know that when two people come together, the relationship has a distinct personality of its own? So understanding this personality can help you better understand the nature and the purpose of the relationship itself and how both parties can better conduct themselves to be in alignment with the relationship mission. Now, I specialize in composite astrology readings to determine the unique personality and of the relationship itself, as well as synastry readings to determine compatibility and potential conflicts between partners. So mention the code word squeegee when you book your reading so that I know that you watched this video, and then I'll get you special pricing. So right now it'll be $60 to get your synastry and your composite readings from me instead of the usual $125. So, and if you need help but you can't afford it, hey, feel free to reach out to me anyway. So I'm glad to help however I can, and I'm not going to turn anybody away for not being able to pay. So till next time, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.